Hello and welcome to another episode of Nightcap with Nightcat, the kitsch-minded show where we talk about toys, boys, and life's other joys. I am your host, Nightcat. Thank you so much for being here for episode 30 of Nightcap with Nightcat. And speaking of 30, I am really feeling 30 today, I'll tell you what. Alright, normally this is the part of the show where I bring you an animal from Scales and Tails, my other part-time job, and I work with all sorts of cool reptiles and stuff, right? And I was gonna go down and put an animal in a box, bring them on over, and show them to you, but my neck has been killing me right here all day long because I slept on it funny. Isn't that just the most 30-year-old thing you've ever heard? I slept on my neck funny, and I have been paralyzed by it all day long. And also dramatic. I've also been dramatic about it all day long. But, like, seriously, I can't turn my head... Oh, it hurts pretty good right there. I can't turn my head a whole lot right now because I slept on it funny. Let me explain something to you. When I was 22 years old, I fell asleep upside down on a staircase. And I woke up the next day and I ran a 5K. I slept on it funny. Anyway, that was my excuse for not going all the way down and packing up a heavy animal. And also, like, good luck controlling them right now. So I am just icing, and I rubbed a bunch of the, I don't know, what is it, the doTERRA version of Ben Gay, whatever it's called, blue, deep blue or whatever. Rub that on, so I'm feeling spicy, I'm feeling mentholy, and I can turn my head a little bit. So I think it's time for us to get the show going. Let's get into the litter box. Ew, what stinks in here? The litter box is the part of the show where I go through the stupid news and I only bring you back the best stuff. That way you're not, you know, rotting your brain with it. Let me do it. My brain's not very good at anything else anyway. And we're gonna get started with the growing list of celebrities who admit to not bathing very frequently. Let's talk about this. So, it all started on Dax Shepherd's Armchair Expert podcast, and he was talking to Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, and his wife Kristen Bell. And they got to talking about, like, how frequently their children bathe. And Dax Shepherd and Kristen Bell basically just said that they don't make their children bathe until their children stink. Like, that's the rule that they set. Ashton Kutcher said, yeah, as long as you don't see dirt, the kid's probably fine. You don't need to bathe them until you see... Unless they're visibly filthy, you don't have to bathe your child. It's fine. And then, to jump on the bandwagon, we've had a lot of different celebrities. Jake Gyllenhaal even saying, more and more, I find bathing less necessary. Maybe because you haven't felt clean since you did what you did to Taylor Swift. And if you think we're not going to find out when she releases that 10-minute All Too Well when she re-releases Red, oh, you're dead wrong, buddy. I can't wait. You better start hiding now, Jake Gyllenhaal, and take a bath while you're at it. Okay. Here's the thing. I definitely see where they're coming from with the kids. The kids are like, it's a fool's errand to try to keep a child clean all the time. It's just not gonna happen. Kids be dirty. That's like the one thing I know about kids. And also, if they're crying, just feed them something. That might be dogs. I don't know. So I totally understand where they're coming from on the kids, but me, myself, this summer has been too hot, honey. I am the sweatiest person I know on a cold day. I sweat constantly. Just big man out in the sun. I'm carrying heavy boxes and stuff. I just pour. It's pouring sweat. The amount of laundry that I have had to do this summer because it has been so damn hot is crazy. I'm soaking through my clothes, not sweating into them. I am soaking through them like I just won, like, I don't know, a sportsball champion. I was about to try to figure out an actual sports championship game, but you know me, I'm not going to try to do that. All I know is the Super Bowl. Well, this has started a big thing on social media with people trying to guess which celebrities are stinky, which ones aren't showering. I'm going to go ahead and throw my money down right now on Matthew McConaughey. He doesn't strike me as a daily bather. Well, somebody commented on Twitter that there's no way The Rock is a stinky celebrity, and he responded saying, you got that right, he showers 3 times a day, exfoliates, blah blah blah. And again, he's a huge dude, and he's working out constantly, so I'd imagine that he'd have to shower as much as I do, which is like twice a day these days, because otherwise I smell like a wet dog. But that's not quite the right thing to be tweeting during a drought, because people went after him hard. Just leave him alone. Let that huge sweaty man have his showers, okay? We don't get to enjoy a lot of things right now. There's not a lot that we wake up and we're just looking forward to every day. Let that huge man take his showers. And you know what? While we're on the subject of the hottest summer ever, now is not the time to go switching deodorant. Now is not the time to try to find a natural solution to your body odor. You better have something with straight up aluminum foil in it and just rub it all over your body and you say, thank you, sir, can I have another? Because if I smell any of you when I'm over here bathing twice a day, I will not be very friendly about it, I'll tell you what. Alright, in the last couple of weeks, there have been a ton of world records set. And I'm not talking about the Olympics. Come on, Olympics, unless we're talking about diving, in which case I am a fan of diving and I'll let you guess why. But I'm talking about weird world records, and we're going to talk about a few of them. There's a man in Idaho who chopped through over 80 kiwis with a sword while he was balancing on a little rolly-doo. Look at him go. Look at him go. He is just whop, 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 like Fruit Ninja. Now this guy, his name is David Rush. He has completed over 200 world records, and his whole goal here is to post really cool videos of him breaking these records on YouTube and raise awareness for STEM education. So he's like a really nice guy too, which is kind of cute. Oh, I forgot to mention, he sliced through over 80 kiwis in 1 minute. That boy was hustlin'. This might be my new favorite record I've ever heard of. A Canadian woman broke the world record for running the 100-meter dash on all fours. She did it in just under 23 seconds. She says that when she was a child, she always wanted to be a horse. She was one of them horse girls. So she started running on all fours, and she got really good at it. And then through her 20s, it became this sort of like party trick that she would whip out in front of all of her friends, like, hey, check this out, I'm really good at running on all fours. And now that she's in her 30s, she wanted to break the record, which she did. The Guinness Book of World Records set a limit of 25... Damn it, I was on a roll. I had to do that take so many times. The Guinness Book of World Records set a 25-second time limit for her, and she did it in under 23 seconds. They just submitted the results, so hopefully she'll get certified soon. But she broke a world record for running like a horse girl, which I think is just my favorite thing. A sealed copy of Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo Entertainment System from 1985 sold for $2 million, making it the most expensive video game ever sold. Now, this sounds a little deja vu-y, right? That's because a couple of months ago, we covered the story of a sealed copy of Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo Entertainment System, which sold for a little under $1 million. Well, that was the most expensive. This one, $2 million, the most expensive now. And actually, in between those two crazy expensive games that were sold just months apart, this one actually sold about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. It was a sealed copy of Super Mario 64 that sold for like $1.5 million. So there is big money. Go through your grandma's stuff. There's a chance that she's got a sealed copy of Mario somewhere, and you could be rich. And finally, this is not a world record. This is a world record attempt, and you could help if you're named Kyle. In the city of Kyle, Texas, is trying to pull off the world's largest gathering of Kyles. It's going to take place at their annual Pie in the Sky Festival, which is a pie festival and a hot air balloon festival, which I think is cool. I want to go to Kyle, Texas, just for the hot air balloons. That sounds fun. The festival is going down September 3rd through the 5th, which is Labor Day weekend. So if you are Kyle and you have Labor Day weekend off, you are encouraged to get down there and help them set the record for the world's largest gathering of Kyles. And to sweeten the deal, you get free festival passes and a free t-shirt for showing up for the Kyle thing. And if you're wondering, since we talked about the stinkiest celebrities, what the longest world record for not showering is, it belongs to a man named Amou Haji. He has not showered for almost 70 years. So he lives in Iran, and when he was a child, he had some sort of like emotional distress happen, some, I'm sure, traumatizing thing happened to him, and he turned to the wilderness. He eats only what he can forage, which includes sometimes like scavenged animals, just dead animals that he comes across and eats. He lives in a hole in the ground for the most part. Sometimes he goes into an open brick shed that somebody built for him because they felt bad for him. And he thinks that cleanliness brings disease. Now here's the crazy thing. He's almost 90 years old. And he might be onto something. He's not dead yet, and all he's been living on are like dead porcupines and living in the hole. So like, maybe he's onto something. I don't know. I get sick all the time and I bathe regularly. No, there's definitely something really wrong about that. There's something really wrong about that. I am not into it. Not for me to judge how anyone else wants to live. I mean, they tried to help him. He chooses this, I guess, but not for me, I'll tell ya. Not a life that I want to be living. Thank you so much. And that is the litter box. All right, I think it's time to show you one of my new favorite things in Sunken Treasure. Sunken Treasure is the part of the show where we dig into my toy collection and we play with something awesome. Okay, here's the thing. I have been obsessed with these for so long. I first saw them at the Clark Planetarium gift shop at the Gateway downtown Salt Lake, and they're just the cutest things. They're real, workable, like posable toys. They do everything the original toy is supposed to do, but they're teeny tiny. They're called the world's smallest. And the thing is, I love them. I think they're so cute. This is the 1950s Barbie. I love her so much. She's in a little swimsuit. She's got, I think, is that a little pie? No, it's a hat. A pie. Jackson Carter. She's got a cute little hat. And, like, you bring her out and she works like a real Barbie. Like, all of her joints are bendable and stuff. Now, here's the thing. I've been obsessed with these. And I've wanted to start collecting them forever, but do I really need to start collecting things? Jackson, look around. Look at this place. It's ridiculous. How many more things can I realistically collect? And then I won this in a crane game. So I was like, well, it's $1. I got it and it was $1. What am I supposed to do? Not take her? So I was like, well, that's cute. I have one little Barbie from the world's smallest collection, right? Well, then I went to Trolley Square this weekend. And I went into, like, my favorite little gift shop. It's called Cabin Fever. If you haven't been to Cabin Fever, you're really missing out. They have the coolest toys, gag gifts. It's like a Spencer's, but better, classier, more fun. And they had some of the world's smallest things, but they had some of the coolest ones I'd ever seen. And then I saw her. The world's smallest Barbie dream house. The whole dream house! They took the whole dream house and they miniaturized it, and you get a Barbie with it. As soon as I saw her, I couldn't say no, so I spent $8, and I was like, well, okay, it is expensive for a silly little toy, but she goes so well, and maybe I'll just collect the little Barbie ones for now, and then expand later. And then I got myself into trouble because I have a spending problem, because I saw the world's smallest Ouija board! Oh my gosh, can you even handle it? It's hard to show because it's just reflecting my lights. But trust me, it's a little itty-bitty little Ouija board. And again, these all work. This one has an itty-bitty little planchette that you could actually zip around the little Ouija board and ask little mini questions. Now I know what you're thinking. Nightcat, why on earth would you put a Ouija board in your house? Here's the thing though. This is a mini Ouija board, which means that only mini ghosts can try to come in and haunt my house. And I'm not afraid of mini little ghosts. I know how to do it. Just squish them. Just squish the little mini ghosts coming out of this Ouija board. Anyway, so that's how I ended up becoming a world's smallest collector, and I only have these 3. I imagine I'll end up with a lot more, especially now that my friends know that this is like birthday and Christmas fodder. Like, this is the sort of thing that I'm looking for. I'm sure I'll end up with a lot more of these. They're too cute, and I don't care if they end up like the little Beanie Babies, because here's the thing. there are a ton of them. There are tons of them. So it's entirely possible that they're going to turn into another Beanie Babies situation, and everyone's going to have them and they're basically junk, but I still think that they're the cutest thing, and you know what? I collect toys for me. I love it. So I don't really care how much value they have in them. I enjoy it. And I'm going to take my mini little house and I'm going to make it a haunted little mini house. Come on, Barbie. Let's go party. And that is Sunken Treasure. All right. You really seem to enjoy when I give you my horrible dating stories. And this one is so embarrassing that I really thought about not telling it. But here we go. It's time for another Nightcat Classic Tale. Nightcat Classic Tales is the part of the show where I relive a traumatizing and or embarrassing moment from my life for your amusement. I have gotten harassed in the comments on this channel and on my social media, thank you so much, that I say that this is the show about toys, boys, and life's other joys. And I talk a lot about toys, and I talk a lot about other joys, but I don't talk enough about boys, which I think you're crazy. I think all I do is talk about boys. And if you're looking for more of my dating history, I feel like I've shared the juiciest parts of it already, so go back and watch that. But in all fairness, I haven't talked about boys for a while, so here is something that happened to me. And it was very embarrassing. Now, what you need to know about this point in my life, I had been stood up by 4 different men on 4 different occasions within the span of a year. So I was not feeling so good about myself, and I was hating men. I was over them. I had sworn them all off. I was like, I will be a single spinster witch at the end of the corner that all the children run from. I was not having it with the men anymore. And then I met this really cute boy. We're gonna call him David. David and I got along really well very early on, but we were just friends, man. We were just like, I'm not gonna tell you where we met or anything because that's definitely gonna give it away. But just know that we were in situations where we were just friendly and professional and that sort of thing. So David eventually tells me that he's bi. And I was like, ooh, now we're getting somewhere, right? This is good news. And if he's telling me, then he's probably telling me for a reason. So now I'm like, hey, this is, all right, this is going pretty well. And then not too long after that, I get home from a long day at work. I'm so tired. I just want to lay down in bed. And I get a text at 11:30 p.m. that says, hey, you want to come over? I'm making drinks. And it was from David, and I was like, oh, making drinks, game on, I know exactly what that means. So I find this like superhuman strength within my body to get up and shower because I believed that this was gonna end up in a late night tennis match. I believed that in my very soul. So I shower real fast, I change, I get over to David's place, he hands me a drink, I'm like, all right. And we sit down, and he sits down on the opposite end of the couch. I was like, playing coy, huh? Okay, let's see where this goes. And then he was like, hey, we should watch Tremors. I'm like, huh? He goes, yeah, Tremors. It's from the early 90s. You're gonna love it. And do you think that I played any tennis that evening? No, sir, no, ma'am, no, they. I did not play any tennis, folks. I sat there on the couch watching the hit 1991 movie Tremors, starring Kevin Bacon and Reba McEntire. And since then, I cannot look at Kevin Bacon, and this whole resurgence of Reba McEntire happening on TikTok has been very triggering for me. So anyway, I'm still mad at Kevin Bacon and Reba McEntire, and now, added to my whole history of horrible things that I look out for in men, I am oblivious to flirting because I don't assume anything. Oh, playful touch on the arm, a chuckle at the joke or whatever. I'm like, this is another Tremors waiting to happen, I just know it. And that's another Nightcat Classic Tale. Alright, we're gonna do it again. It's time for the CATSPIRACY CORNER. CATSPIRACY CORNER is where I track down the origins of a conspiracy theory, and I share them with you, not because I believe in conspiracy theories, not because I don't believe in all conspiracy theories, but just because I think the conspiracy theories are fun, and maybe, who knows, what if people be crazy? Now, the reason I'm wearing my Disney villain sweater, despite the fact that it's like 400 million degrees outside, we're basically living on the surface of the sun, thank you, climate change. The reason I'm wearing my Disney villain sweater is because we're going to talk about Walt Disney's frozen head. Actually, we're going to talk about how it all started and how they're covering it up. So, Walt Disney died like 55 years ago. He died in 1966. And there have been rumors ever since then, almost from the minute he died, that he had his body or his head cryogenically frozen and is waiting for the technology to catch up to the point where he can then reanimate himself and live again. And this has been a popular theory for a long, long time. Now, it all started because there was a journalist, there was a reporter who was at the hospital covering the story of Walt Disney's death. And this reporter claims that they got into like an off-limits storage area somewhere in the hospital, and when they got in there, they saw a big metal cylinder with Walt Disney's body floating around in it. I like to imagine that was the tank that they held him in while they got him acclimated. Like, you know when you get a new fish from the store and you just gotta bob the bag around in the water for a little bit? I like to imagine that that's what they were doing with Disney, just get him a little acclimated to it. But this reporter allegedly blew the whole lid off the story, and they were like, they're preserving his body, which didn't actually happen. The official story from Disney Core is that Walt Disney's body was cremated 2 days after his death, and his daughter has always thought it was very funny that all of you think that, because there's a good chance that he had no idea what cryogenically freezing something even meant. Like, that was probably a little too early for him. So this has been a rumor forever, and since the dawn of the internet, conspiracy theories like this have just gone haywire, right? And Disney might want to do something to maybe hide this conspiracy, maybe shroud it so that they can cover up the secret of Walt Disney's frozen head. So what do? They build a whole movie franchise around it. So there's conspiracy theorists that believe that the Frozen movies were created so that when you Google Disney Frozen, you don't get Walt Disney's frozen head anymore. Now you get nothing but movie stuff. And you know what? I thought that this was ridiculous, and I laughed my head off at it when I first heard it. And then let me explain to you what happened. They tore down the Hollywood Tower of Terror in California. Well, they didn't tear it down. They converted it. It is no longer the Tower of Terror. It is now like the Guardians of the Galaxy ride or something like that. I don't know. I haven't been since they changed it. So, the thing is, though, that they announced that closure on 9/11. Because when you Google tower or terror, terrorism, terrorist, guess what's gonna happen? You are going to pop up with a bunch of 9/11 stuff, and no one's gonna find the Tower of Terror anytime soon. That way they were able to sneak in that announcement without pissing everybody off, and then just suddenly, oh wow, it's always been Guardians of the Galaxy. It is very 1984 what Disney's up to. It's very Handmaid's Tale what Disney is up to. And you know what? Disney is majority owner of Hulu, who makes Handmaid's Tale. So they're telling us what they're doing from the start. That hurts so bad. I have got to stop tweaking my neck. Oh my god. Alright, I'm getting out of here. That's another episode of Nightcap with Nightcat. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, don't forget to like this video, comment on this video, share these videos with your friends. They are just gonna love it, I'll tell you, and they're gonna thank you for sharing the videos their way. We have got a lot going on these days. Mostly it is true crime tours. The Nightcat True Crime Walking Tour of downtown Salt Lake City has been like all engulfing on my life. Follow up from last week, if you watched the end of last week's video, I talked about how I was having problems with the business license division. Got it all cleared up, finally got my business license applied for, so I'm just waiting on a couple more things. But will be legit very, very soon, and hopefully I'll have financing in a van very, very soon. So if you would like to take advantage of the Nightcat True Crime Walking Tour and get pumped for the van tours that are coming, visit nightcatshow.com. Nightcatshow.com, it'll have all the information about the crime tours, or if you go to the link tree in the description of this video, there's a $5 off coupon in the link tree. Just look for linktr.ee/JacksonWitt down in the description of this video. Thank you so much for just being the loveliest, for always watching, for always supporting. You're just the best. I'm gonna go massage and ice my neck because I have to hold big snakes tomorrow, and I'm gonna need to sleep on it the right way tonight. Or maybe I should just do it the opposite. If I slept with my head cricked this way, maybe if I crick it that way. No, I think it'll just mess up this part of my neck. I don't know. I'll figure out a sleeping strategy, assuming I get to sleep anytime soon. All right, good night. Bye. Bye. I almost waved with this arm again. All right, goodbye. Bye.